Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Envoked, and this is the third episode of my Enhancement Shaman Mastery series. Today, we're going to talk about which professions are best for Enhancement Shamans, especially going into that first phase. So you finally hit level 70, you're getting ready to gear your guy out, but before you can start deciding what pieces you need, you're going to have to lock in your professions. So let's break down what each profession brings and which ones actually make sense for enhancement in phase 1 and beyond. So first off, we're going to talk about leatherworking. Leatherworking is going to be your mandatory profession. It brings a lot of important items. Some of the first is the Never Scale, the Ebon Never Scale set. It's a massive pre-biz power spike, and a lot of those items are going to last you all the way into phase 2. Besides that set, you're also going to get drums of battle. You're probably going to be your group's drummer, and the reason that I prefer to be the drummer in my group is since I'm going to probably be popping Bloodlust, I want to macro these two together. This way we have 100% uptime on both of them at the same time. You don't want some other guy in your group fat fingering their drums before you can pop Lust, and then you miss having them sync at the same time for the full duration. Controlling your own drums gives you a reliable burst window instead of waiting for somebody else. The long-term value is that leatherworking stays relevant all the way to the end of the game. Honestly, you're going to be the drummer the entire expansion. If you're an enhancement shaman, you're going to be the leatherworking. Now, the other two professions people talk a lot about are blacksmithing versus engineering. There's not much of a difference, it all depends on what you prefer, so let's start with blacksmithing first. Blacksmithing gives you early access to some very powerful crafted weapons. You have the hammer Dragon Strike and the axe Black Planar Edge. Now your best bet early on in phase 1 in a pure DPS standpoint is to run if you're Orc Black Planar Edge and level 61 blue, which is Fist of Reckoning. I know it sounds bad, but it's still better than almost everything else. The reason you want to run that is because you want to keep both your weapons synced for maximal uptime on Flurry, and the best way to do that is to have both your weapons have the exact same speed. We'll go over weapon syncing a little bit later. Now, these crafted weapons together give you about 20 to 25 DPS over what your heroic drops will give you. Now in phase 1, that DPS increase is slightly less when you're Orc and you can get the Gladiator Cleavers from Arena. Now that's locked behind having an 1815 rating and earning the points, but if you're confident in your PvP skills, it's not that hard to get. Now in phase 2 and 3, the gap shrinks drastically. You start using more of the raid weapons, and eventually you can pair the Black Planar Edge with this Broad of the Sun King if you really want to. By phase 4 and 5, though, the arena weapons are going to completely overtake any other option you can get from blacksmithing. So the final verdict is early on, it's going to be very great. It's going to give you some slight DPS increase and guarantee you getting that weapon. But outside of phase 1, it's only a few DPS higher, and later it actually loses. Now on the flip side, engineering is going to bring you a lot more utility and quality of life over raw DPS. You do get some DPS tools like the Goblin Sapper charges, and that's actually going to help you out a lot with some AoE damage that shamans tend to lack. But you also get a lot of utility. Parachute, cloak, repair bots, teleporters. It's going to keep the same value through every phase. It's a slightly less DPS value, but it's going to be more consistent long-term payoff. A few honorable mentions besides those three professions are going to be jewel crafting, which becomes almost mandatory in later phases. You might switch off engineering or blacksmithing at the end. I know I did the last go around. Another good profession you might use is enchanting. That gives you a small personal gain. That's plus 4 per ring, plus 4 stats. Now, here's how I break it down. If you want to have the best long-term value, the best bang for your buck early on and into the end of the game, you want to stick with leatherworking engineering. Eventually, the blacksmithing weapons are going to fall off. You're not going to be using them. The drums, the utilities, the sappers, it's definitely going to be the best you can do to finish off the game at the end too. If you want to re-roll later on your profession and you want an early DPS rush, then go leatherworking and blacksmithing. Also, if you don't have a lot of confidence in your PvP game, stick with blacksmithing. My pick, I'm going to go leatherworking engineering. I'm confident in my ability to hit the arena rating I need for the PvP weapons, and those scale better than the blacksmithing long-term ones. Engineering gives me a lot of mobility, a lot of utility, and PvP flexibility, which definitely fits to my playstyle. But whatever combo you choose, make sure the leatherworking is one of them. It's not just about DPS, it's about control, raid value, and consistency. In the next video, we're going to go over the attunements. There's a lot of attunements in TBC. The first one is going to be for Karazhan, so we need to unlock that as fast as possible. I'm Invoked, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. As always, this is your path to Enhancement Shaman Mastery. See you next time. Peace.